Hello, my beautiful midlife women. Today is one of those days that feels like a dream, but is very, very real. Because after years of brainstorming, writing, questioning, deleting, rewriting, doubting, trusting, and beginning again, Joybellion is officially here. Today feels less like a book launch and more like proof that magic happens when we trust ourselves. My name is Kai. In case you don't know who I am, my background is as an actress and a filmmaker. Visual storytelling has always been my thing. Writing, not so much. But a couple of years ago, while I was in between creative projects and kind of having a hard time figuring out what to do next, I kept getting this intuitive hit, write, of which I promptly swatted away. And then it would come back and I'd be like, nope, and swat it away again and again. And we were doing this little dance until a friend and I spent a couple of days brainstorming, trying to figure out what I was going to do next. Halfway through the second day together, she just looked at me and she said, you know what, I'm just going to say it. I think you should write a book. Now, I have a rule. If I get the same message more than once in different ways, I take that as a sign from the universe that I'm supposed to pay attention. So when she said it, I immediately stopped pushing it away and I decided to write. Trusting my intuition doesn't mean I didn't have doubts. I had a lot of doubts. I went into writing this book very nervous. It was my first book, a new medium. But the day after I committed to this project, I stepped out of my car and I saw a quarter on the street. And when I picked it up, it was this Maya Angelou quarter. And that, my friends, is everyday magic. And so from that day forward, even when the writing got hard, I just never questioned that I was where I was supposed to be. That quarter sat on my laptop the entire time I wrote this book. And I wrote Joybellion for women who have spent decades living according to everyone else's rules and who are kind of done just navigating all this societal nonsense we have to deal with. Women who suspect that there's another way to do life. Women who are tired of worrying about what other people think. And women who want to trust themselves more than the status quo. So if that's you, I think this book is for you. My hope is that when you read Joybellion, you discover a way of moving through life that brings you more ease, more support, and fills your world with everyday magic. So I am curious because I do think there is something happening in the zeitgeist around midlife women. You can tell me if you feel it too. I would love to know if there is something you've done recently that felt a little quietly disobedient. Like maybe you took a nap when you were supposed to be productive. Maybe you said no when you would have normally said yes, even though you didn't want to say yes. Maybe you wore that outfit. Maybe you changed your mind. Whatever it is, I would love to hear any acts of disobedience you want to share. And to celebrate the birth of my book, I would love to send one of you in this conversation a signed copy of Joybellion. I'm so glad you're here. I really hope this is the beginning of something big for midlife women, a movement, a Joybellion. All right, I'll see you soon. In the meantime, see you in the magic.